time I was very depressed.
Mm.
I was running away from stigma. So I was lying to everybody that I was still
Oh
not
my.
lying. I remember that I didn't lie.
Yeah.
I didn't tell anybody that I
You're
was
being
still in school.
conscious of.
I was just very evasive,
Huh.
right?
Yeah.
I was and very deceptive. So
Hmm.
it was probably just as bad. But um, nobody ever asked me, "Have you dropped out?" And I
Yeah.
said, "Yes,
Yes, I
no."
have. Yeah. Hi, Jen.
Hey, Joanna, what's up?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good.
Okay, so we're
Pretty
doing
much.
this second time. How do you feel about that?
Mm, hopefully this will last.
Same here. Okay, so where are you from?
Just diving into the deep stuff. Okay, so I'm from Imo State.
Okay, we're in Imo State.
Or
What?
where?
Where? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Ibadan,
Okay.
city of brown roofs.
What?
The city of brown roofs.
Right. So, what was your childhood like?
Exciting.
Okay,
I think that sort of captures it.
you're gonna have to expatiate.
Exciting because growing up was growing up was a mixture of things. It was a mixture of uh, the kid that enjoyed watching
Mm-hmm.
cartoons and you know old American movies like
Yeah,
The Princess Bride
yeah,
and like stuff like that.
yeah.
And then there was the kid, the other side of me that I wouldn't say grew up on the streets, but
Mm-hmm.
wasn't very far from
Yeah.
it. So I had friends with whom would go play football and roll tires around
Mm-hmm.
the neighborhood
Yeah.
and like just really get rough and dirty outside. So it was sort of like a mixture of two different worlds.
Mm-hmm.
As an adult, I lean more towards the former than
Yeah.
because I'm an indoor person.
Mm-hmm.
But growing up was interesting and exciting like that.
Okay. What about your parents? What were they like?
Quite interesting, I'll say.
Okay.
So my parents were not exactly the traditional Nigerian parents.
Ooh. Okay.
So they're traditional in a lot of ways. It's
Mm-hmm.
just that some should I say eccentricities
Yeah.
sort of like made themselves known.
Okay.
So for example, you'd see how my dad, in his very curious sense of humor, named me Genesis,
Yeah.
named my brother Rock.
Ooh.
Yeah, you didn't know that.
Okay.
Yeah, so my brother is Rock,
Okay.
and so he gave us like English names that would get people to look again, and then he gave
Uh-huh.
my sisters pretty Yoruba names.
What about your mom? That was your dad you just spoke about.
Yeah, my mom learned Igbo when she got married to my dad, and then
Oh,
uh,
your mom is Yoruba.
yeah, my mom was Yoruba.
Interesting.
And
Okay.
then having two parents who spoke Igbo,
Yeah.
they chose not to teach us children.
Okay.
So we were raised with English, like
Uh-huh.
we were raised speaking English,
Yeah.
right? Um, myself and my baby sisters picked up Yoruba from like the
From the streets.
neighborhood, from the streets, but it was mainly just English
Oh, I
at
see.
home.
Okay.
So it felt like we were a certain type of people
Yeah.
outside in
Mm-hmm.
school, really rough, playful, and all of that. Sometimes Raz,
Yeah.
but then when we get home, we settle down to watch Lion King, and
Oh.
you know, just
Yeah.
it was good times.
How was school? Primary school.
Okay, because that sounded like I just came back from school.
No.
So I'll just lump primary school and secondary school sort
Together.
of together.
Okay.
Primary school was really good.
Mm-hmm.
I was a one school kind of kid,
Yeah.
so I went to one school all through my primary
Yeah.
school. Then had friends.
Mm-hmm.
Am I still friends with any of them now? I wouldn't say. I don't think so. I mean, we still have each other's contacts and things like that,
Oh.
but um, largely gone our separate ways.
Yeah.
Um, uh, Junior secondary school was the razzest I've been in my life,
Mm-hmm.
barring when I picked up speaking pidgin after
Ooh.
swearing not to in
Okay.
university. But junior secondary school was I was almost a street kid in school.
Uh-huh.
So I was that kid. You know that there are some kids that even in the public school,
Yeah.
they would come to school looking pristine. Their uniforms would be very, very well
Yeah.
ironed and things like that, and everything would just be perfect.
Uh-huh.
My best friend in senior secondary school was that guy
Yeah.
because we went to like the same junior secondary school,
Mm-hmm.
then left to another school.
Both
But
of you
separately,
separately.
so in
Okay.
junior secondary school, we lived in very different worlds
Okay.
because I was the kid that would come late,
Yeah.
not wearing socks, having trekked halfway to school, so my legs are already dusty from
Yeah.
the road. And then get flogged for coming late to
Mm-hmm.
class. I won't write notes.
Why was that? Why was that?
And it was like I said, I was sort of like a hybrid kid.
You said that was like your
So
rebellious phase.
I wasn't rebellious at all. I
Mm-hmm.
was fine at home. It was just that I was lazy. Let's just say I was
Yeah.
lazy, very lazy. So I would not take transport. I would not take a bus or
Yeah.
a bike to school. I would walk because I needed the money for that thing.
Yeah.
I would not write notes because I hated writing notes.
Uh-huh.
I would not wear socks because they were white socks, and even till now, there's nothing I hate more than washing white socks. Um, and we had to wear sandals, so
Yeah.
it's not like the white sock is protected,
Mm-hmm.
and the school is dusty, so it
Mm-hmm.
gets like really dirty. Um, so it was, I guess you could say I was rebellious in school,
Yeah.
but at home I was a goody two shoes.
Yeah.
Um, then it reflected on my grades too,
Mm-hmm.
so I performed really badly most of junior secondary school because
Okay.
classes were terrible. You'd have lots of students. I was always sitting at the back, not by choice, but
Mm-hmm.
because those of us who didn't have chairs had to sit at the back
Yeah.
because that's where like you get scraps of wood
Mm-hmm.
to put together a chair
Okay.
to and sit. So I really paid attention in class. Um, Spent my break times running around school, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But senior secondary school was, by contrast, very different
Yeah.
because um, I went to public school for
Mm.
junior. I went to private school for senior.
Yeah. Let me ask, why did you change schools?
I couldn't continue in that school because I had an F in
Okay.
mathematics.
Math.
Hmm.
Okay.
My bean. But I had an F in mathematics,
Okay.
so I couldn't continue in that
Mm-hmm.
school.
Did you get bullied much?
That was
Get bullied much?
no, I never got
That's
bullied
all.
at all. If
Really?
anything, I was probably among the guys that would have bullied somebody.
Other people. Did
Yeah,
you? Did you ever do
I
that?
never I never bullied anybody.
Oh,
I
okay.
never bullied. But I would say I won't say we bullied our teachers because we can't.
Yeah. You guys
But
teased them
yeah,
behind
but we
their
teased
back.
them a lot. So
You're
I
like the
was
ringleader.
no, I wasn't. Well, that was my best friend, but I
Ah,
was like the sidekick.
I see.
Yeah, and then there was a third guy who was also like we're both like sidekicks.
Yeah.
Basically. We're sidekicks, but I guess you could think of it like that.
Do you miss those times?
Yes, they were simple times,
Oh. So
very
how was
simple times.
uni? Where did you school?
Oh yeah, Kitty.
Oh, okay. How
Yeah,
was that?
very dark. Mm.
Okay. What did you study?
Mathematics
Okay. So what
again,
was the
my baby.
experience? You had an F in mathematics in school.
Yeah,
So what was it like? Why did you just tell me? Was that what you wanted to study?
yeah.
What was it you wanted to
I
study?
wanted to study computer engineering,
Ah,
which
okay.
in retrospect would have been a mistake as well.
Okay, so
But the 16-year-old me
yeah,
or the 15-year-old me, or 16, I'm not sure.
yeah.
But the then me thought it was a good idea
Uh-huh.
to I liked tinkering with things at home.
Yeah,
So radios, TVs,
yeah.
DVDs, and I loved computers. I've
Uh-huh.
always loved computers. So that I thought it was a good idea to mix both of them.
Yeah.
So you get to do a little software engineering, get to do a little hardware engineering
Uh-huh.
in computer
Yeah.
engineering as opposed to computer science, which I thought was going to be more software and very little hardware.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's probably correct. But my tendency for tinkering died in uni, um, along with uh, uh, not a lot of things, but again I changed,
Yeah.
right? So it was that period when I transitioned properly into adulthood. So there were several interesting changes
Okay.
that happened at the time.
One of them being
One of them being there were several of them, but one of them being my ability to fluently speak Yoruba, fluently speak English, fluently speak Pidgin.
Igbo. No,
No,
not yet.
I schooled in Ekiti.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah. Your dad never got.
Yeah,
He
so
never complained that you couldn't speak Igbo.
I'm sure that time is coming.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So university was good,
Mhm.
but it was also bad.
Okay.
Good in the sense that there were lots of lessons.
Yeah.
There were lots of opportunities to learn myself.
Mhm.
Bad in the sense that I suffered quite a lot. I suffered.
Okay.
So I became really good friends with Gary in university. I think it was also rough in terms of classes.
Mhm.
So as good as I was in mathematics in secondary school, it turns out that uni maths is a whole
It's not
different
your
ball
meat.
game. It's not the kind of thing that you just attend classes and you just scale through. Apparently, I remember all of us going to our level advisor in 200 level to see our results, and um, some people had like 4.0 GPAs
Yeah.
from first semester,
Yeah.
and then had like 1.2 or 1.5
Wow.
GPAs for second semester.
Wow.
I know I'm smart.
Yeah.
I'm very smart. But uni made me feel stupid. It made me feel
Yeah.
very stupid. Because I was having multiple carryovers back, like in each
Yeah.
semester. Um, the results were just nothing to write home
Yeah.
about. Really. I learned that
Yeah.
if I it, like I'm not the kind of person that I'll find it really difficult to
Yeah.
do something I don't naturally enjoy
Yeah.
doing.
Mhm.
But if I do enjoy doing something, something I
Uh-huh.
would excel at it.
Yeah.
I would easily excel at it.
Mhm.
Than with minimal effort.
Mhm.
If I then put effort, I would
Yeah.
do really good,
Awesome.
really good.
You did mention that you did not finish school.
Yeah, I dropped out.
Okay, so what
Proudly
happened?
so. But like my grades were already bad. I knew
Yeah.
that okay, so it looks like this like by second 200 level first end of
Yeah.
first semester, I knew that it looks like this school thing is not really what I'm going
Yeah.
to be doing. So I wanted to drop out then, but I had aspire to pass my friends. So they encouraged me. They taught me to persevere,
Go, Jen.
told me to push on,
Yeah.
told me to remember my parents' sweat and
Yeah.
struggles and the effort I've put in, and
Mhm.
I've come this far.
Yeah.
Oh dear Lord, it will be so bad if I drop that now. I said, okay, so yeah, let's finish. We pushed through until 400 level. I remember being very discouraged in my final year
Yeah.
because my third year was that year that I literally gave my academics like everything.
Yeah.
I I remember I spent less than a quarter of the nights
Yeah.
in the entire session in my own apartment
Mhm.
because I was always sleeping over at my friend's place.
Yeah.
We were doing group studying,
Mhm.
or it was just me, but she had a
Mhm.
solar lamp or whatever
Mhm.
in her house, so it was easier to study overnight at hers,
Yeah.
knowing that number one, she was one of the best students in the department,
Yeah.
and the other two guys that like were in our group were like the among the other best students
Yeah.
in the department. I was like at the bottom, but um we used to study at Aptesha.
Yeah.
A sidebar, it's really good to have friends that number one know you,
Yeah.
number two really believe in you.
Yeah.
Because it was because of those guys that I didn't drop out. I didn't get pushed away, like sent out of school
Yeah.
because of bad
Mhm.
grades. So it was literally because of them that I was hanging on by the thread that got me
Mhm.
through to 400 level. So final year came
Yeah.
around. I was I dropped out early, like halfway into the first semester
Mhm.
of final year because I realized that you know what, I was already going to have an extra year,
Yeah.
definitely. I was probably going to have another,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
And I really, number one, I'd always known from my
Yeah.
first year that I wasn't going to use the degree.
Mhm.
It was literally that kind of thing where you just come, um, go to school for 4 years or 5 years or whatever number of years,
Uh-huh.
and then get the degree and drop it in your father's house for them to place plaster on the wall or whatever, and then go and do what you want to do,
Mhm.
right? So it was that kind of thing for me. I'd always known I was going to go back to school for a second degree in computer
Yeah.
science. So I'd always known I was going to follow that passion, but for whatever reason, I just wanted to see it through. But then in front of them, I was like, I really don't want the degree.
Mhm.
Um, I don't need it. I'm not
Yeah.
going to use it. So and at that point it felt so hard, and the question was, what exactly am I doing it for? And it felt like I had tried my best, and I had come to the end of my journey.
Mm-hmm.
This is the end of it.
Uh-huh.
I remember that some of my friends cried.
Shoot.
Yeah. Um, my best friend at the time cried. I
Yeah.
remember that very well. 'Cause
What about your
I,
parents?
I, they a different story. They didn't cry, but they were, my dad was pissed,
Yeah.
very pissed. My mom was just concerned,
Yeah.
very concerned, and very worried for me
Yeah.
too. She understood that for the most part, I know what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, growing up and being that child that
Yeah.
you can always trust his decisions,
Uh-huh.
right?
Uh-huh.
Because um, I I was really really quiet,
Yeah.
and so I don't disturb people. I don't like do unnecessary stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, but more than that, like when I choose to commit my energy to something, I tend to like do it properly. So
Mm-hmm.
as long as I had a plan,
Yeah.
my mom felt like she could trust my decisions.
Uh-huh.
So for her it was just worry and concern.
Mm-hmm.
But my dad was pissed because all that money, all the time, all
Mm-hmm.
the effort,
Mm-hmm.
house rent,
Mm-hmm.
school fees, and all of that, all just went down the
Yeah.
drain. So I remember that I didn't tell them. I dropped out in April
Yeah.
2018.
Yeah.
I didn't tell them about it until December.
You're amazing.
That wasn't amazing. I don't think they would agree at the time. They would agree now, but at the time, no.
I see.
So I remember going back home. I stayed in school until December. From
Mm-hmm.
April, I didn't go home at all.
Yeah.
And then I went back home.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, I was very depressed.
Mm-hmm.
I was running away from stigma. So I was lying to everybody that I was still
Oh
not
my.
lying. I remember that I didn't lie.
Yeah.
I didn't tell anybody that I
You were
was
being
still in
conscious
school.
of.
I was just very evasive,
Huh.
right?
Yeah.
I was and very deceptive.
Mm-hmm.
So it was probably just as bad. But um, nobody ever asked me, "Have you dropped out?" And I
Yeah.
said, "Yes,
Yes, I have.
no."
Yeah.
So um, so I remember I was running away from the stigma, and then at the time I was an executive in church, my fellowship at the
Yeah.
time. I was the head of the media team at the time. I had it was the first time I felt like some people were sort of looking up to me.
Yeah. So you
So
couldn't.
like there were
Yeah.
like 100 level, 20 level students
Oh
in my
my.
department,
Yeah.
in my unit, and I felt like I had to live up to their expectation.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to let them down or
Mm-hmm.
discourage them. So I remember I didn't talk about the members of staff in school in church knew, like the church leadership knew,
Yeah.
but it wasn't something that was popular knowledge even
Yeah.
amongst. I remember I did FYB
Oh
in
my.
church. Yes, I did FYB.
Wow.
So there was the whole celebration. I
Yeah.
danced. I got the outfit and attires. Went through the whole
Process.
shebang.
Yeah.
Just putting up that, and FYB is in second semester. I dropped out in middle
First
of first
semester.
semester. So I did the whole shebang,
Yeah.
and it was really good. I'm happy I didn't miss out on that. I
Wow.
am like it feels like I scammed my way into it,
Yeah, you
but
did. You did.
I'm happy I didn't miss out on it.
Awesome.
It was
Why
it
though?
was it was really good.
Because you hardly go for
Yeah, because
events.
it was sort of the most celebration about anything I'd ever done,
Yeah.
and it was more interesting because I didn't have anything to celebrate.
Huh.
I felt like everybody's graduating.
Yeah.
Me, I'm not graduating.
Yeah.
So what am I celebrating? But the energy and the excitement was contagious. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
caught it,
Yeah.
and when everybody was like, I remember I danced. Oh my goodness, I
You can
danced.
dance, Genesis?
No, but I tried.
Yeah.
I gave it my best shot.
Uh-huh.
So uh, so that was basically just. But even through that time, I was struggling through
Yeah.
a lot of depression. I was struggling through, and then because of the fact that I had dropped out, I felt like I didn't have the right to ask for money from home.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything else I was doing that
Uh-huh.
was bringing in money for me, so I was very broke. I was um there was I made it through that year like
Yeah.
because of friends.
Yeah.
Friends who knew that I dropped out, of course. But I made it through that year because of them. I remember that in when my friends were writing their project when my friends were writing their
Yeah.
projects, I was helping them with their project
Really?
because I didn't have anything else to do,
Yeah.
and I was familiar with some of the concepts
Yeah.
in their project, so I was helping them with it, and also other things. I remember I
Mhm.
used to work at a coffee shop as well during that period. So I was in charge of photocopying,
Yeah.
printing, student registrations. It was good money at the time.
Yeah.
I think in a week I could make like 10K.
Nice.
Was it in a week or in a month? I think it was a month.
Yeah.
But like there were extra like 500 naira here
Yeah.
on a like daily basis.
Yeah.
It was enough. That was the period I fell in love with bread and beans as well because it was the food that you can eat
Yeah.
in the morning and
Mhm.
it will carry you till
Yeah.
night
Mhm.
dinner time. So I remember all of those times. It was so when I say university was good and bad, it
Yeah.
was like that.
Mhm.
So it taught me a lot about myself. It taught me about things I like, things I
Yeah.
can do. It taught me about how how I how what's the word for when you like how much of a good survival instinct
Yeah.
is that the word?
I think
I think
it could
sort of
work
yeah, it
here.
works. Self-preservation. That's what I'm looking for. It taught me how self-preservative I can be.
Yeah.
Um, it taught me the value of friendships.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of things really. Um, and I feel like it also equipped me for the period to come because I don't know if I would have gone as hard at my goals at like basically I am a success right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
I'm still on the way there,
Yeah.
but I'm a stark contrast from where I'm coming
Yeah.
from. So I don't think I would have gone as hard at
Yeah.
it as I did, and that got me here. I wouldn't have gone as hard if I didn't go through those things in
Mhm.
uni, if I didn't have that backstory in uni. So
Okay. So, what's the
that's
most important lesson you've learned in life?
in life.
Yeah.
Nobody has ever asked me that.
Well, speak.
Okay. It feels like kind of a question that you probably, given that I've never had to answer. I feel like kind of thing that I have to think about.
Really?
But one thing that comes to mind right now is always start with why.
Yeah.
And always keep why in
Uh huh.
mind. I feel like if I had known why I wanted to get a degree, which is why I look at lots of people who do things now, um, kids that are just getting into
Yeah.
university, and they're getting into uni because it's just the next thing to do, right?
After secondary school.
It
Mhm.
was like, and I feel like everybody has a certain affinity to something.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like if those affinities are discovered from an early age, it would, because I don't think I'm university, at least not Nigerian university material.
Yeah.
Obviously not. I tried, didn't work. So I feel like it will save some people the headache
Mhm.
and the stress. I remember, so right now I work with my superiors at work.
Yeah.
There's two guys. They're software engineers, amazing guys.
Okay. What do you
They
do?
I'm a product designer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they got into Andela
Yeah.
in 2016 or 2015.
You should,
Yeah. Yes.
you should have joined them.
So I remember when I found out that they worked and that they joined Andela at
Yeah.
that time, and that was like literally when they
Yeah.
kickstarted their
Mhm.
careers.
Mhm.
And looking at where they are right now, both of
Yeah.
them are married, happily
Yeah.
married. One of them has a kid.
Yeah.
Like I look at them and I'm like, I really want this.
That could have been me.
But then I also remember that that could have been me
Yeah.
if I had just like, um, I guess all of us have like our journeys are
Yeah.
not to be regretted
Uh-huh.
because they bring us to where we are.
Okay.
But if I had just dropped out at the time
Yeah.
and joined Angela, I would be in a much different place now,
Uh-huh.
right? Um, so there's always that. So I feel like the most important lesson I've learned is start with why
Yeah.
and always keep why in mind. There are times to get difficult. I've done some pretty difficult things.
Huh.
But if you keep why you're doing it in mind, I think there's nothing you can do.
Huh. I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Sadly, this is the end of today's episode.
Oh,
I would
thanks,
like to
man.
have another conversation with you.
Yeah, it's here forever.
All right, Jen.
I'm not running anywhere.
Thank you.
And this was fun.
I know, but we have so much more to explore. Honestly, I feel
Yeah,
like I haven't even
know.
touched
We do.
anything yet.
I'm deep.
Yeah. Oh, please. All right, Jen.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Jen.
Have a lovely one.
You too.
I look
Bye.
forward to seeing you.